Juliet, with her wide, curious eyes and a head full of dreams, was a 13-year-old girl living in the heart of a sleepy town. Her life was a tapestry of school days, piano lessons, and the innocent adventures that filled the pages of her diary. Her world was small but comforting, revolving around the few blocks between her home and the local middle school. Juliet loved the walk to school, especially in autumn, when the leaves painted the sidewalks in hues of gold and crimson. One brisk October morning, as Juliet strolled to school, her attention was drawn to a tan car parked along her route. It was an old model, out of place amidst the town's modern rhythms. The man inside wore a leather jacket and watched the world behind dark sunglasses. At first, Juliet thought little of it. It was a small town. Unfamiliar faces were rare but not alarming. But as days passed, the man and his car became a constant presence. She noticed him taking pictures of her, his camera lens peering out like a watchful eye. Unease began to coil in Juliet's stomach. She tried to convince herself that she was imagining things, but the camera, the persistent gaze, it all felt ominously real. Her steps quickened each time she passed the car. The man eventually broke his silence. One morning, as Juliet hurried past, he called out to her, his voice oily and smooth. "Hey, young lady, need a ride?" His smile didn't reach his eyes, which remained hidden behind the dark lenses. Juliet's heart pounded in her chest. Every stranger danger warning she'd ever heard echoed in her mind. She shook her head, refusing to speak, and quickened her pace. The man laughed, a sound that sent shivers down her spine. At home, Juliet wrestled with her fears. Should she tell their parents? Would they believe her or dismiss her worries as the overactive imagination of a young girl? The weight of the decision pressed heavily on her. Finally, the fear became too much to bear in silence. She confided in her father, her words tumbling out in a rush of anxiety and fear. Her father, a gentle giant of a man, listened with a growing fury in his eyes. Juliet's father, Mr. Dawson, was a man of few words but deep emotions. He thanked his daughter for her bravery in coming forward and promised to take care of the situation. That evening, he set out, a storm brewing in his normally calm demeanor. The next morning, Juliet walked her usual route, her heart heavy with worry. As she approached the familiar spot, she saw her father's car parked across the street from the tan vehicle. Mr. Dawson stood beside the man with the leather jacket, his towering figure casting a long shadow. The conversation was heated. Juliet could see her father's hands clenched at his sides, his jaw set in a line of barely contained anger. The man tried to laugh it off, to explain away his actions, but Mr. Dawson was unyielding. His voice rose, a rumble of protective fury. The man's laughter died, replaced by a flicker of fear as he realized the seriousness of the situation. Suddenly, Mr. Dawson's restraint snapped. His hand shot out, grabbing the man by his jacket, pulling him close. Juliet couldn't hear the words exchange, but she saw the terror in the man's eyes, the power in her father's stance. It was over quickly. Mr. Dawson released the man with a final warning, his voice carrying across the street. "If I ever see you near my daughter or any child again, you will regret it." The threat hung in the air, heavy and unmistakable. The man scrambled into his car, his composure shattered. He drove away, his tires screeching against the pavement. Mr. Dawson watched him leave, his protective gaze lingering on the empty street. Juliet ran to her father, tears of relief and fear mingling on her cheeks. He wrapped her in a hug, his strength a comforting fortress around her. "It's okay, Juliet. You're safe now," he whispered. In the days that followed, Juliet's walk to school was free of the ominous presence of the tan car. The incident became a whispered story in the neighborhood, a cautionary tale of vigilance and protection. Juliet learned a valuable lesson about trust and the importance of speaking out. She found a new appreciation for her father, not just as a parent, but as a hero who stood against the shadows threatening her world. The world seemed a little less innocent to Juliet after that, but also safer, knowing she had a guardian willing to fight her battles. She walked with a new sense of security, her steps lighter, her heart unburdened from the fear that once trailed her every morning.